What up, everybody? Welcome, welcome,
everybody.
welcome. How's everyone doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Welcome to Saturday night sit down.
So we missing one and we plus one. Welcome to Fred, who's joining us for the first time. We have the F, not just the A tonight. Next is doing an oil change and he'll be along in a little bit because we've all got lives as well, apparently.
That's right.
How you doing today, Gage? You good?
Good, man. Good. A little tired, but the show
Yeah,
must go on, right?
To go to bed at night, it helps sometimes, you know, bro.
Yeah. What's up, Eric and Stan,
What up, everybody?
Ken, Kaiju?
Good to see y'all.
Oh,
Good
Ashley,
speakers in the house,
Ashley,
LMK.
Nikita, Benji.
Is that Benji? Benji, is that Benji?
Yes, that's Benji's Beauties.
What's up, Benji? What's up, Chris? Prize Critters,
What up, everybody?
Ken,
It's good to see y'all. Good to see y'all.
Zach. What's up, my brother? Stan, Pat,
Zach,
obviously Eric,
he's a ballpark maniac.
and anybody else that I've missed. This is not like there's a lot of people in there. There's only a few of you in there, so it's no big drama.
No big drama. No big deal.
We don't worry about any of that, to be quite honest. Fred, we're here to just have a shit around and enjoy ourselves, and we don't really care too much about that. Anybody wants to pick this up and run with it, then good luck to them. Where you gone, Gage? Where's he gone?
What up, Stan?
So, as you can see on the screen, guys, I wanted to have a little chat about this very interesting subject, the 1,000-gram war. So, before we even talk about 1,000-gram war, we'll talk about a couple of things that we're taught when we first come into this. And Gage isn't here to confirm it, but Fred and AJ will at the minute. Oh, here he is. Where are you going? Disappearing like that?
Sorry, I have kids and shit was going crazy in the house. I had to make a room.
They had to choose that second, right at the second when we went live.
That's what
that
I
they're
just
very,
said.
yeah, they're very inconsiderate.
Gates had to jump on a grenade real quick.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
So, as I just started to say, Gage, when we all come into this hobby, we get that there's two statements that I remember hearing a lot, and the first one is that the female must be a minimum of 1,500 grams. Yeah.
Correct.
And the other statement that I heard a lot when I first came into this was the female must be at least 2 winters old. So she must be at least 2 years old before have gone through 2 winters before you start to breed her.
Correct.
Well, I'm here to tell you guys, in my opinion, I don't believe this is true. That we know that people constantly talking about how a male can be ready to breed in 6 to 9 months, providing he's up to weight. Yeah, you can breed a male at 450, 500 grams. That this is okay. This is all of a sudden people have this opinion that it takes the female years to get her up to sexually maturity, and it only takes the male 9 months. Don't make much sense to me, to be quite honest. We know that most species, things sexually mature at a similar sort of rate. You know, obviously there's a difference in size. In a lot of species, we know that the females are much bigger than the males.
Correct.
But they reach sexual time. Actually, you want to avoid 1,000-gram wall, you need to feed your animals better from day one, and then you won't reach 1,000-gram wall. That's kind of how I see it. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, me and Gage, we were talking earlier, and Gage and AJ expressed about what happens when you buy this animal in. and somebody else has been feeding it in a certain way, and now you're going to struggle, guys.
Right.
That's just the nature of the beast, that not everybody will feed their animals from day dot as if they're their own. Bosa, what's up, my brother?
Oh,
A lot of people
Zach,
will give
bruh.
their animals a small meal just to keep them tidied over. If you want to buy big, strong animals, get one from Gage or AJ and Fred, because they feed all their animals the way they feed their own. So
That's right.
it's the best way to feed. So
Looks like
the
Ken
way
said,
to
looks like Ken says he's got one at 1,000-gram wall right now. Won't eat.
only at 1,000 grams. So see the problem is once you've reached that point, there's not a hell of a lot you can do about it, because once you're at that 1,000 grams and you're at that wrong time of year, you're going to be stuck in that situation. Now, nothing's perfect. If you think I'm here telling you that this is perfect and I can do this with every animal, it's not true. That things don't work and things fall short. But the idea is to avoid the 1,000 gram wall, and the way to avoid the 1,000 gram wall is so that the 1,000 gram wall, in my opinion, that we talk all the time, right, guys, about 1,000 gram wall being an equation. The equation being that this is a weight plus a sexual maturity divided by the time of year and what is going on in your room. So
And age too.
right. So if you've got this female, she's 18 months old, it's November, and you're pairing in your room, and she's sexually mature, she's going to be affected by what's going on in the room. She's going to feel that other animals are having sex, other animals are moving on, and she's going to wonder why she is or isn't having this happen. So basically, the idea is to avoid the 1,000 gram wall is in effect to negate it by getting to the weight at a faster pace, so that when you reach that point where she's at sexual maturity, she's already having enough weight on her to do the job, you know. And actually, guys, this is down to how you feed from day one. I've often said to you, right, Gage, and to you, AJ, that I believe that the first 3 months of an animal's life is the foundation to whether an animal will be progressive or not. Because if you train or keep that animal in a right sort of channel right in the beginning, it learns good habits and it continues in those good habits, you know. Just like us as people, we trying to have good habits and teach the animals good habits. 1K wall doesn't exist over right. Well, that's it, Zach, because the 1K wall is based on people being told that we must grow this animal slowly so that it's 2-3 years old before we breed it. Actually, all you're doing is stunting its growth. Yeah, that if you feed that animal in a more regular, because there's another thing, you're looking at 3 guys here, and if Logan was here, he'd tell you the same thing. We none of us into this feeding every 2 weeks. We don't believe that this is good enough, and we don't believe that your animals will grow fast enough if you have this theory. She's just one of those long skin snacks. I'm going to put a man in there with her and see if it triggers. Yeah, this also works, guys. If you've got a female, if you're worried about her weight being a little bit low, there's the new thing. We're all calling it the Bob Vu trick, you know, because Bob dropped that one on Samson
That's
Snake
right.
Aquarium a couple of months ago. She said, put the male in a bag, put the bag in with the female, and nothing will actually happen because they're good, but they can't shoot their load through snake bags. But the idea is that by them being in the same space together, that you may get some sort of reaction that will cause to happen what you want to happen, and basically that is to get the female back on food. They're very simple animals, guys. They don't watch TV. They're not interested in Ralph Lauren, and they don't want to buy the latest Ferrari. They're interested in eating, having sex, and having babies. This is what ball pythons are for. This animal is one of the oldest species on this planet. It's not an accident. It's here for a reason, to keep the rodent population in the world down.
That's
Yeah.
right. Agreed.
So if you feed that animal correctly at the beginning, it will basically arrive at the gate at the right weight. And here's the truth, guys: 1,200 is adequate, as long as it's not just about the weight, because you can have an animal that's 1,800 grams. It's not necessarily in good condition for breeding. Because if it's not eating correctly, if it's not behaving correctly, the weight is irrelevant. The behavior, the knowing how to read and look at your animal and see what the animal is doing and what the animal is requiring is just as important as the weight of the animal.
I agree. Yeah, there's lots of different things you have to look at. It's not just a cookie cutter design when you're looking at animals, you know. All animals, not all of them, but a lot of them do act different, you know. So you have to know what to look for and how to read them.
Pay attention, right?
Yeah.
What's up, John? John in the chat.
Put it.
John, no H in the chat.
So no H. Yeah, so basically, you feed that animal correctly as it's growing up, you're not going to really see 1,000-gram wool. Once you start pairing it, guys, if your animal wants to eat, feed it. Yeah.
Feed
We all are advocate on feeding hungry animals. We all know that people talk constantly about, I can't get this animal to feed. This animal's just gone off food. It's 400 grams. It's just stopped eating. It's just stopped eating. I don't know what to do. This animal hasn't eaten. We know that they aren't the greatest eaters in the world. If they want to eat, let them eat.
Yeah.
But don't give them massive meals. Better to give them a train. Give them 2-3 small ones if they want. AJ, I've got this pied, right? She's 4 kg. She can't eat anything bigger than a 50-gram rodent. Well, she can, but she doesn't understand the front from the back. Yeah? She don't understand what the front and the back is. So if you give her anything over 50 grams, she can't swallow it backwards.
Right.
Okay. Any recommendation for a 2 that came in at 300 grams? Go round to the breeder's house and shoot him with your shotgun. That's what the recommendation is. Yeah. Go and tell that guy about himself and tell him that he needs to fix up. That's what I recommend you do, Ashley. Yeah. Tell that person to fix up. Yeah.
Now, some side information on Ashley's animal is it has taken meals, so it is starting to feed. So she is, yeah. So she's asking for how she should approach feeding that animal.
Right. So we were talking about this just yesterday, right, Gage? Wasn't it me and you? When I said to you that when an animal starts to get on food, when it's been problematic, don't get overexcited and sort of try and offer it a second meal because it's taking food. If anything, keep its food a little bit sparse for a week or two, almost to create this. I want more, and he didn't give me. He didn't give me. What? So now we turn the table on the animal and make the animal chase us rather than we're chasing the animal.
So you don't recommend offering a second meal to that animal in the beginning of the cycle?
No, once the animal's gone back on food, I'd want to just keep it a little bit hungry for a few weeks to teach it that hunger is good for it, because sometimes if you go in too heavy too quickly, they'll get over full, they'll feel uncomfortable because they ate that second rat, and then now they're like, oh no, I might take a week off, which is kind of like what we say about giving animals 2 smaller meals rather than 1 big meal. Yeah, guys, it costs me more money. I understand that it costs me more money to feed 2 small rodents than 1 big rodent. But it's like we always say, in Africa, are they really, really finding 150-gram rodents rolling around on the street? I wouldn't have thought so.
There are a lot of smaller animals.
That we're all of the opinion that in the wild, these animals will eat smaller meals more often.
Right.
But that, like I said, that pie, you can't give her anything over a 50-gram rodent, because if she can't eat it backwards and she tries to eat it backwards and she can't eat it, she'll get pissed. She'll leave the rodent, go to the back, and she won't eat for 2 weeks. But if I give her 3 45-gram rodents every Sunday, she'll eat them every Sunday. Backwards, frontwards, sideways, she doesn't care, because she doesn't understand her ass from her elbow. There's nothing I can do about that.
Right.
I used to cut the back legs off, but it got a little bit messy sometimes,
Mike's over there at the butcher shop. Swing, chop, chop, chop.
Man.
Cut the back legs off, cut the tail off. It's just like a chicken fillet.
Isn't that what they call reptilinks?
Basically, right? It's a little bit more chopped up, and then in a casing.
Yeah, so
Jen's gonna make his own reptilinks. That's what he said anyway.
He was talking about it. He's got an old sausage maker that nobody's using.
Well, he's gonna mince some rats up and put them in sausage skins and feed them out like that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yard.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you could get some mini chocolatas made, they'd be fucking brilliant for assist feeding. If somebody was to manufacture. So, here's a joke. And Kaiju, if you're still listening, bro, I know you're gonna laugh at this one. That we always speak about those beans, and they've got those little tiny sausages, in the tin with the beans. Could you imagine if a reptile company produced a mixed like meat rodent in a skin that was that size so you could assist feed your animals with? It would make life so much better.
It would be easier. Yeah, you wouldn't have
Hutch in the building. What's up, Hutch? Hi, Tammy. Sorry, forgot to say hello to you as well, darling. But that would be great, wouldn't it, Gage? Could you imagine that?
Are you sure reptilinks don't have them small enough to do that?
I don't know. Probably for like garter snakes and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd think they'd have them because they do for all species, right?
But I've also heard of I think Keys was saying fucking cutting slices of pork, right? And that goes down real easy too versus feeds.
Yeah, I've heard Keys say that as well, slices of pork. But I would be concerned about that because, pork, that raw meat, you know how that cross-contamination works. And
Right.
but it works. I know it works. I've heard that it works. And it's kind of similar in the way to...
Tammy says
Kind
they
of
have
similar.
lots of sizes.
So what? You can buy little sausages of rat and mouse.
I think so. I'm gonna look.
Wow, to be honest, guys, I was joking. I didn't think nobody in the UK does such a thing. That's for sure. I've never heard of such a thing like that in the UK.
Yeah. It's like supposed to be more for like the people that have a hard time, like feeding a rat, I guess.
Something with a face.
Right, because I guess at the end of the day, it's not just the factor of the assist feeding. Some people are paranoid about the actual rat, but they like the snakes.
Right. Exactly.
So you give them a little sausage to feed to the snake instead. It's quite a funny idea, isn't it?
Right. If the snake thrives, then hey, whatever. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
not with you, but snake thrives.
But I think it's a good idea as something for a hatchling that's not on food or something.
Yeah, right. You don't have to worry about getting it past the shoulders or anything. It's just a straight
Right.
shot.
And it's the same sort of principle as when I use the tail. The idea is because it's round and smooth that you can just twist it and it sort of slides in without too much problem. So
Right.
see, that wasn't hard, was it, Gage? 1,000-gram wool is such a simple thing, realistically.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at ReptiLinks. I'm gonna see how small they come.
So they'll give you a weight gauge or a size.
I don't know. I'm looking right now. It looks like they do it by grams. So 8 to 12 grams, 16 to 20 grams, 25 grams, 50 grams short, 50-gram long, 75 grams, and 100 grams. 8 to 12 grams.
8 to 12 grams is like a small mouse.
So they don't make them small enough for hatchlings then, right?
Well,
no.
That would be okay because it would be better shaped. It depends on how they make it. I would want one a little.
Like a hot dog. Looks like a hot dog.
But that will it be 2 inches long and whatever the circumference is, or it's going to be fatter and shorter?
They look like they're kind of thin and long.
Right, because thin and long is better, basically.
Yeah. Right.
Thin and long would be better because they'd slide down better. But it's a great idea for assist feeding.
What was she? 2090. 2090.
So we got this girl, Mike.
Let me put you on blast. Hang on.
Asphalt engine. She was born 3/17/21. She's at 2,090 grams. We think she's going to lay this year, so this would be her.
Right. Right.
Awesome.
So by negating the 1,000-gram wool, what you're actually doing is you're probably going to end up with a snake that is around 2 years old or 2 years and 2 months sitting on her first clutch. And guys, I've got girls that are oh, sorry, I took you off and you bought another one. I've got girls. Is that another 2021 baby there, Fred?
This one's 2020. This one's a year older, and she only weighs 1260. And she hasn't eaten since November.
She was an assist feed, though.
She was an assist feed at the beginning.
And she was actually the first one, and it took me a while to get her started. So just like you were saying about the bad eating habits in the beginning.
Listen, there's no. I'm not telling you that any of it's perfect. I've got girls myself that their sisters are up to size, and they're not, because you get the odd animal that just doesn't want to know. I've got one that's a 2021 baby that's over 3,000 grams, and I've got one that's a 2021 baby. What you got there, Fred? and
It's
she's
her sisters.
oh, okay.
So this one weighs 1,400. This whole clutch has been kind of like they'll go off and on. They've been kind of really
Right, but no, I've noticed that as well, that I tend to get almost like whole clutches which do better than other whole clutches. Like you'll get a whole clutch of animals that hits food quite well and goes quite strong. Then you'll get a clutch of animals that it's hard to get them on food and things aren't quite. And sometimes I think it's just to do with their genetics. I think that it's a hereditary thing. Or it might just be an incubation thing that means that when they arrive at that point, they're a certain way. I can't pinpoint it, but I have noticed that, for instance, my worst clutch of 2020, my worst 4 animals of 2021 came from the same clutch. My worst 4 females of 2021 came from the same clutch because I actually kept 5 of them because I was going to play Hunt the Gravel. I then actually managed to produce a super gravel from a different female before those animals were up to weight. And I ended up moving on 3-4 of them anyway, because I wasn't hunting the gravel anymore. I'd already found it. But in the meantime, what I'd noticed by keeping those 5 females from that clutch is I noticed that in general, those 5 females were just behind everything else that I produced in 2021. And in my opinion, it was something to do with like a hereditary, to do with their genetics. That their mum took me quite a while to get on food and get going. But that's again that problem when you buy an animal in from somebody else, right? And that you don't know how that animal's been treated in the first 3 to 4 months of its life, and now its growth has been stunted because somebody's been maintenance feeding it, and now that's going to affect the next 2 years of its life.
Yeah, it is interesting though. Sometimes they just don't want to, because like you were saying, the whole like it's basically that whole clutch is been picky feeders. The biggest one in there's 1,400 grams, and then the one I showed you that was born a year later is over 2,000 grams and probably getting ready to lay. So.
And then the 2 that had were they in the same clutch too?
All I know is a girl that I made has outgrown probably 60% of my collection that I purchased that were bigger than her.
Funny how that happens, huh?
Because she was feeding from the beginning on my program that keeps her fed and happy versus this maintenance feeding and then learning to feed regularly again in a different pattern.
What's up, Iron Dog?
What up, Iron Dog?
It's regurging, Tommy. Sometimes it's best to give them a few weeks and don't feed them. With ball pythons, you'd maybe take some advice from somebody else for hog noses. But for me, normally, if a ball python regurgitates, I will
2 weeks or so.
not feed it for a couple of weeks on purpose. And then when I do start to feed it, I will give it a smaller meal than it's used to having, and I'll continue to give it a smaller meal for at least a half a dozen feeds before I try to. Again, it's that same thing about when an animal stops eating and it goes back on food. When an animal is misfiring, then it's always better to tread carefully, go slowly, not to be too aggressive, not to push too hard. Yeah, there you go. See, that's it. She gave it a pinky. Yeah. And actually, tub size as well, guys. You know, I'm someone who actually tends to use quite big enclosures. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, you use big enclosures, Mike," and I have people taking the mickey out of me because of all my fake plants and all my bits of cork and everything. And they tell me, "Oh, Mike, you having that enrichment, yeah?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having that enrichment." But you know, when you're putting a smaller animal in a bigger tub, all that sort of stuff kind of helps. Right? That it helps to make the animal feel more relaxed and that. But I've got one particular animal that every time I upgrade her, she stops eating, and every time I put her back in a small tub, she starts eating again. Now she's technically way too small. This is what Pat says. I put sriracha sauce on the rodents with yeah. Why not?
They love that shit.
Yeah, they love a bit of sriracha.
Pat says screw vanilla. I use the sriracha.
Sriracha.
Yeah, fuck the vanilla.
Gives us a spicy attitude.
That's why the snake's spicy, because they eating that spicy rodents.
Spicy rodents. That's fine.
But all of these things, you know, all of these things are all to do with reading, paying attention to your animals, you know, being in tune to them, not withholding food, but not over pushing it. You know, AJ, you know how this works, right, bro? There's a time to push and there's a time to hold back, yeah? That when it's the middle of breeding season and an animal's being paired and she's at the front of the tub because she was paired 2 weeks ago and she wants a second rodent.
You can tell she'll be up there tongue flicking, like as soon as you crack it open, she'll be alert, she'll be tongue flicking. Like if you see
or you'll open the tub to check to see if she ate her rodent and not just killed it. And when you open the tub, you'll get that instant reaction where their head comes up and they look at you because they actually think a second rodent is coming. They don't realize you're there checking to make sure they've eaten. They think you're opening that tub to give them another bit of food. And that reaction, that look on their face should tell you everything.
Feed me again.
That's reading your animals.
Feed me again.
If you open it and the animal goes back in the bag, that animal doesn't want another animal.
Right. Or you get some of them. We often talk about. We recently talked about this. It's a new term that I've come up with. That it's kind of taken me, like, you know, it's that observation. You're constantly watching the animals, and you're like, oh, why are they behaving like this? Or why are they doing this? Oh, have you noticed the way they do that? And I have that new saying now, right, Gage, where I say that the animal is guarding the perimeter on feeding day. That the animal will look like it's gonna feed because it's right up at the front of the tub when it's feeding time. And as you look down, you think that one's gonna eat, that one's gonna eat, that one's gonna eat. Then you pull the tub and there's no reaction. And the minute that you offer her the rodent, she turns her head away and gives you the shoulder. She gives you the elbow as if to tell you, move. And I call that guarding the perimeter. They don't want, obviously, for my animals, they don't realize that rodent's already dead, right? That they think that rodent is live. And they don't want that rodent in their area because they're already gravid. They don't want no more food, but they don't want that rodent bothering them because they're pregnant and it's going to make them agitated. So now they're guarding the perimeter of their enclosure, trying to make sure that rodent don't get in. So the minute that you offer it, they turn their head away and they give it the push because they're trying to tell you, move, get that away. I don't want that. Tommy, it's good. It seems that Tommy's been talking about this animal, that this animal lost weight and is now back on the up and up. And by what she says here, it seems it's almost regained all the weight that it lost. hognoses are very little animals, so you're going to notice. You know, you can have a big python and they can go off food for extra time, and you barely notice. Especially if I got a big female that was 11 months without food, guys. If I pulled her out at 11 months without food, you'd have told me I was definitely ready to pair, right, Mike? Because she's just huge, you know. But they're all different and they all want different things, and you just got to pay attention.
There is no cookie cutter answers.
Never.
Well, there is. It's called read your animals. The cookie cutter answer is read your animals.
Well, but it's so true that you have to read your animals. You have to pay attention. That guarding the perimeter, that looking for a second rodent, that sort of behavior, you picking up where's the animal sitting? Is it towards the heat? Is it towards the front? You know, you've got to watch it. It needs to go through that process. It should move forward. It should spend extra time forward. That time forward should be linked to something to do with the food and the shedding. As the food and the shedding reach a certain point, then the animal's going to move to the back. I don't know about anybody that doesn't use substrain, but anybody that uses substrain will tell you that that animal will then start to push the substrain almost to make a net. Guys, I'm going to try something this year that I've never done before. I'm going to give a couple of my girls, AJ, we spoke a few weeks ago about when you open a tub. Again, this is again a behavior thing that we've noticed, that you open a tub and a female, she comes rushing out, but she's not rushing out for food and she's not rushing out to be aggressive. She's rushing out because it's like she thinks she's got somewhere to go. She wants to be somewhere else, right? Yeah. Now, you mentioned to me, oh, maybe she wants a male. She's looking for a male. Yeah, it's possible. But then you have that female that's already had a half a dozen locks on her. She's already stopped eating. She's already had an ovulation. I think maybe she's looking for somewhere more secluded to lay her eggs because she feels that this big tub is actually, her tub isn't her hide because it's not small enough for her. We all saw that video, guys. That animal was tucked in that tiniest little space like that, right? And actually, when I get a reaction from a girl this year, when I open the tub and she looks like she's got somewhere to go, I'm going to give her a hide back. I'm going to give her a hide back and see if she calms down and then goes and lays in that hide, because now she's going to feel more secure, less vulnerable, because now she can go in that dark little spot to lay.
Right. Yeah. I think
again, we constantly, this is this thing. You want to be good. Always try to be better, innit? Always try different things, new things. You think that anybody that I can see, there's only 11 people watching this. I don't really care. Maybe some people will watch it later. But do you think that any of us sitting on this screen here be standing still? Do you think that any of us think that we got it right and we stopping to make changes, to try new innovating things? You know what you people don't realize is backstage we talk every day to come up with new ideas, new theories to try and better ourselves, to make ourselves to make our work better, stronger.
Yes,
absolutely.
Talk
our problems out, talk our theories out.
Right.
Show off our girls every now and then.
And it's all like theories that we have that to better the animal. Like we don't have theories like, oh, if I stick it in the eyes with needles, then it's going to breed twice a year.
Yeah, no.
These are all to try to help the animal.
And this is again another thing, guys. We share information. By sharing information that all of us gather, we get more information, because now I've got Gage's information and AJ's information and Fred's information.
And we want your guys' information and for you guys to start.
Right, exactly. If you don't learn something new every day, it's a wasted day. Chris agreed, bro, that sorry guys to take this off ball pythons and a more general thing, but the person in life who thinks he knows everything is actually the most dangerous person,
They don't even
because if
realize how
you know
little they
everything and you're not open to learn anything, you're in trouble, innit? That I don't think I know everything. In fact, I think I know very little. I keep my ears and my eyes open every day because I'm trying to pick up tiny, tiny, tiny bits of information that's going to make me a better person, a better snake breeder, a better father.
Yeah.
That's how that shit works, guys.
Right.
When it comes to the animals, you have to pay attention. Pay attention.
Yeah. They didn't ask to be in your house.
They didn't ask to be in these tubs, sitting here waiting on us to get it right.
And even then, doesn't mean nothing. There you go. She's right here in front of me. This is my vein of 2021. Yeah.
That'll happen.
She 2021 baby. She not even 750 grams.
Still is good
Nothing
condition,
to about it, because I don't have all the answers and nothing is perfect. That shit happens.
Yeah.
But I can show you 12 others that are between 18 and 2,500.
Exactly.
And one that's at 4,000 grams, but she's unique.
Some girls stay skinny, some girls get big quick.
Since I've been trying to
Yeah.
keep that out now, my plan. Yeah.
Oh, the info sections.
Yeah, the info section is really good on Morph Market. It's very helpful, mostly for trying to work out genetics and they've started, haven't they, as well, to try to link genes when it says when it asks about linked traits and stuff, and
Allelic combos. And...
like they allegedly they put it in there now, at least to tell people, listen, some people are saying this. Friend of mine called me the other day, said, Mike, somebody just opened me the jungle woma. And I told him, really? It's like, yeah. I said to him, you should have took it. He was like, no, it's woma. What? I said, well, you do know that they say the jungle woma is Mario, right? And he was like, what's Mario? I was like, you have to watch the American market a bit more carefully, my friend. You're watching these UK boys, you're not paying attention to those Yanks, and those Yanks are always talking about how the jungle woma and the Mario is the same gene. I don't know if it is or isn't. I don't know much about the jungle woma, and I definitely don't know anything about Mario. But yeah, I noticed that Morph Market is doing more and more of that, trying to link it all together.
Right.
In fact, here's the truth. Morph Market, if you listen to the title, it was really bought as a selling platform, but it's changing, right? Morph Market is becoming more like the world of Ball Python. Yeah.
It's stale either.
Yeah, and it's refreshed more often. World of Ball Python, such a great platform, but needs somebody to take it by the scruff of the neck and bring it into 2023, right?
Right.
But they don't help themselves. I sent them emails a couple of times when I produced animals that aren't on their list, and I told them, listen, I produced these animals. I sent them pictures. I sent them pictures of the parents. I told them, these are definitely these animals. You don't have these animals on your list. And they don't even write back to you.
I've tried uploading photos on their website, and it has to be exactly like they don't have any kind of program or anything to automatically convert your photos to how they need to be, like most other websites. They want you to have it, and for some reason, it just never would work for me when I tried to get it to their DPI and their
Right.
But like,
Their format doesn't match up to anything. You have to do such a specific format that you can't download anything.
right. It's not
It's
as
like
easy.
it's outdated.
Yeah, totally.
You're lucky I didn't even get that far. They didn't even acknowledge me. They were probably like, what? This guy from the UK? Ah, leave it. It's still good to fall back on. It's still got some good information on World of Ball Pythons. It's not as cutting edge as it used to be. They got a lot. They're falling behind constantly. Morph Market really has come a long way. But is it you who was complaining the other day, Gage, that they changed the fucking format again?
Oh, God damn
Man,
it.
they need to quit doing that. Let's get used to something.
It's like if you get on your computer, you're fine, but it's like you'll randomly try to get on your phone and like the whole thing will be different. You're like,
That's that whole evolving thing, though, too.
what am I supposed to do now?
Right. All right. How do I search now?
Yeah, leave it alone, guys. We like it the way it is. You don't have to keep changing it.
Or put out a stable old version for us old farts.
Well, thank you, Zach. I'm glad you like it. There's
Right.
only you and a couple of brothers here anyway, bro. Everybody's somewhere else. It's all good. We don't care, innit? We don't care. It's a bit like Chris. Chris has got one. This man here has one of the best shows on the internet, and nobody watches it.
Iron Dog.
My excuse, Chris, is I'm asleep when your program's on, so I have to have a special sleep just to do this show, guys.
Usually at work, unfortunately. And yeah, it was World of Ball Pythons we were talking about. Morph Market's easy. I wish World of Ball Pythons was as easy as Morph Market.
Agreed. But then again, like I said, it would require them to do some major updating.
Oh,
They probably have to redo their whole website.
Yeah.
they're so far behind now. It's a bit like that situation when somebody says to me, "Oh, if you got Husbandry Pro, Mike, the amount of information that you've already got stacked, it would take you forever to upload your information into Husbandry Pro. You'd almost have to leave your paperwork where it is and just start from that point."
That's what I would do. Yeah. I wouldn't try to stuff.
World of Ball Pythons is so far behind the curve now that they have to do it that way, and for them to do it, it's going to be a hell of work just for them to.
It's like
just
they're,
for them to that
it's like
point.
they're planning on making bumblebees next year.
Aren't you?
Aren't you?
They're very pretty animals.
They are.
Hey, here's the truth, guys. All jokes aside, out of the egg, the bumblebee, because you know yourself, guys, we've all hatched a bumblebee, and when they come out of the egg, they basically white and black, right? They're basically white and black. The yellow is barely showing through. You can just see it hinting in the background, and it's one of the best looking animals out of the egg. I don't care what anybody says. You can
absolutely.
hate a spider. You can hate a spider till the cows come home. I'm not really worried. It's a sensational animal out the egg. And my Calibi is 3-4 years old, and he's still sexy as fuck. So yeah, hate on the spider. We don't care, innit?
Yeah, you
We
can
don't
hate on
breed
the
for
spider all you want. I don't care.
Yeah, we're not Matt from Olympus. We don't breed for it. We don't have hundreds of them coming out, but we don't hate on it either.
That's right. We give it its respect because it has respect to do.
Spider Calico Hypo is one of my favorite animals ever. Like, really, those three genes look so good together.
But the spider gene was one of the first genes that made people pay attention to our industry.
I agree.
When the bumblebee came out, people were falling off their chairs. And it's no joke. When the bumblebee came out, people were falling off their chairs.
Gene combo? Are you serious?
It's all very well. We come a long way, and the animals we produce now are amazing. But half of the stuff that people hate on is stuff that were laying the foundation stones to our industry. That without these combos, without these genes, without somebody realizing what it doesn't just look the same. You can make a yellow snake with lines on it. Or I remember somebody talking about when the first pewter was made. And I think it was Sean Bradley said that so-and-so turned to so-and-so and said, did you see what that fool so-and-so made? He put that ugly cinnamon with that pastel and he made this sexy silver snake. Can you believe it? Yeah?
Right. Computer.
That's what people say now.
Right.
Yeah, I was the same. When I saw the bumblebee in 2017, when I saw the Cali bee in 2017, I had to make it. It was the first snake I ever wanted to make. Yeah, we all like cinnamon. Cinnamon's a good gene. Yeah.
Tyler in the house. What's up, Tyler?
What's up, brother? Late, bro. Don't worry, we'll catch you later.
Ledka in the chat.
Just does pewter with a cute face.
Don't like pewter, Ledka? You got the link, Ledka. You get your ass up here and tell us why you don't like.
You got some explaining to do.
I don't know. I think that personally for me, I actually feel that we're all so even wrapped up in the recessive now that we forget how pretty some of these codom animals are. That we always discuss about how we feel that leopard's better in codom than it is in clown, like that, right?
Yeah.
Certain animals you'd like to use them in a color mutation recessive rather than a pattern mutation recessive because they lose something when they're in a pattern, but when you put them in a color you can manipulate their colors and their patterns in a different way.
Right. And then there's also like whenever you're doing a pattern mutation, if you see things running one way, trying to add something that goes the other way can be interesting and stuff like that. So,
right, so something is going long, something's going across, and now you make the twist.
right.
But you also know that sometimes, I mean, I actually don't really know what it looks like because I never paid attention to go and look at it. But we know that people say that the puzzle clown doesn't look that great. I've actually never bothered to even look at a picture of it. I just know that everybody says that it's not that great. And I guess that the puzzle is trying to break the back and the clown is trying to create the line across the back and something's not kind of working out.
But you add like another one or two genes on there, it might do something crazy all of a sudden. And then everybody wants in that project.
But listen, you know, again, sometimes it's not about having a row of jeans, right? Gage, that animal I sent you yesterday from Miguel, Always Evolving Pythons.
Right.
This three gene animal, right, Gage? This was Cypress, Cypress, Lace, and Fire, if I remember rightly. Cypress, Lace, Fire, Clown. 3 genes, guys. 3 fucking genes. The animal is sensational. Absolutely off the hook.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Insane
It's
red.
not about 4 genes maximum. It's about putting the right 4 genes together. It's about, you know, that if you go into an expensive clothes store, if you have 10 grand to spend and you spend all that money on clothes, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to look good walking down the road. Because if you don't know how to put together the right jacket and trousers with the right shoes and the right belt, you're not going to look sharp when you step out.
That's right.
And if you pair the wrong 2 animals together, it doesn't matter if you've got 5 great genes. If they don't complement each other correctly, you're gonna get a shit show.
Right.
Yeah, we all like them shit shows, though, Mike.
No, you do. You do. You do. Where's Benji at? Benji's at. Where's Benji at? Benji, love up the shit shows.
Like trying to get it in, get a whole bunch of stuff into recessive gene. Like I'll take a crappy
Right.
that has
Yeah,
a bunch
there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. But when you've got a visual recessive 3 gene animal and a visual recessive 4 gene animal, to put them together and make the 7, it's probably not going to look good.
I think you just named our holdback pet clown male. Remember, Mike, the blackhead, the one we think is blackhead phantom, pastel, like all that stuff. I think we're gonna name it Shit Show now because of this.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
You all gotta have a shit show, at least one of them. I choose to have my shit show wrapped up in a bell.
That's basically what ours is. Yeah, it's a crystal.
But we listen. Actually, we always talk about creating a powerful shit show. That's not a shit show. Me and AJ were talking about it yesterday. That you do like an animal that had a double allelic. So you have something like a Cypress blackhead, yeah, with a super asphalt, and then maybe if you could throw Enchi and cinnamon over the top of it, and now you've got a 6 gene animal. But every time you breed it, it's going to give you 3. It's never going to give you 6. It's never going to miss. Yeah. You can make that powerful animal and breed it selectively to constantly make powerful animals.
Becca is on this today.
Yeah, let's get him brave in the chat because he's not up here on the panel. Logan, you wait till I catch you in the after show, bro. Gonna find out what you're doing, stalking on us like this.
He's been having fun working on automobiles and such.
Yeah, why not? We all like that. You know, actually, most of us here are a little bit car heads as well. You know? It normally goes with the territory. You know that we like snakes, weed, and cars, and in. Right, on that note, guys, it's exactly on the hour, and I'm trying to be super strict because I don't want to be wasting everybody's time because there's only 11 people watching. But we don't care. We're going to go and have a piss, have something to eat. We're going to sit backstage and have a little laugh for a minute. Gage, why did you set that show up for 3 o'clock instead of 2?
What are you
instead of
talking about?
40? Have you set your show?
Yeah, it's only for an hour later than this one.
Hour after?
Yeah.
2 hours after. I'm sure you put it for 2 hours after.
Come on, man.
Guys,
Come on.
Oh man, you could probably change it real quick.
Anyway, we'll be live in a little while on Gage's channel. We'll be sending out some links to friends of ours. Eric, make sure your arse is there. Chris, we're going to send you the link. I see you here in the chat, bro. I'd like you to come and join us. I don't spend enough time on a panel with you, Chris. Please, if you can join us, it will be much appreciated. Yeah? You take care, everybody. Thanks
Have a
for you,
good
11
night.
people, for joining us. Good night to everybody. Peace and love. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.